Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and today we're going to be looking at a band that I hadn't heard of until about a week ago, but even still I haven't actually heard any of their music. Now what I mean by that is about a week ago a friend of mine on Facebook posted a music video of this band, and he gave a brief description of what the band sounded like, and I thought I'm gonna have to check them out because they sound interesting. So I've managed to sort of stop myself from actually listening to any of their music so far, so that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to check out one of their tracks. The band is called Chaoseum, or Chaoseum, I'm not sure how they pronounce the name, and a track called Smile Again. Now I did a little bit of research. There was a fairly decent amount of information out there, and what I found was Chaoseum, or Chaoseum, whatever, were formed in 2018 and emerged from musical minds of four Swiss friends hailing from different corners of Switzerland. The band was founded by Loic Duroux and Valerie Vaines. I do apologise if I pronounced those names wrong. Both of whom were former guitarists with symphonic power metal band Elferia. There you go. Now they've toured with the likes of Soulfly and Taya from Nightwish. They were supposed to do a tour with Flesh God Apocalypse last year, I think it was, but that's had to be postponed until October of this year. So they've toured and are going to be touring with some fairly well-known names. Now, I'm not going to mention what my friend how my friend described the band. I'm going to listen to the track and then explain afterwards. But yes, we're looking at a track called Smile Again. So let's jump into the track. I have lyrics here. I did find these on a website that isn't 100% guaranteed that the lyrics are going to be 100% accurate. So if there are mistakes in the lyrics, I do apologise. They're the only ones I could find. So that being said, let's jump into this track and see what we've got. So we've got Smile Again by Chaoseum. Let's have a look.
You think that can serve my face? but my soul's falling disgrace, and I stay lonely. I shame them ugly. My scars hide in my blame. Will you understand my shame? My insanity allows me to smile again.
Well, there you go. Now I'll give you 3 guesses as to how exactly my friend described that band. Did you guess? Yep, exactly. He said probably what everybody watching this video thought. That's Korn. It sounds identical to Korn in every single way. If you closed your eyes and listened to that song, you would swear it was Korn. If you didn't know any different, you would swear that that was Korn. The only thing that might slightly give it away is when he does a sort of spoken, sort of cleaner lyrics. Like there was a sort of spoken part during the actual song that kind of gave it away. The clean sing at the end, it could very easily have been Jonathan Davis. If you were listening to it without knowing who the band was, you could easily mistake it for him. The only thing that might slightly give it away is that more sort of spoken part. But to all intents and purposes, this band it's basically Korn in every single way. The sound of the instruments, the way that bass is played, the way the bass sounds, the style of the music, the style of the lyrics, the whole performance. It's Korn, basically. But that's not to say it's not good. It sounded great. And the video was very good. I mean, that singer, I can't remember I did look up his name. It was CK Smile. I think it was something like that. It's bloody creepy looking. And he's obviously a very, very good vocalist. I always thought Jonathan Davis had a very unique sounding voice. I didn't think there would ever be a voice that would sound similar to his. But it turns out I was very, very wrong. But I did really like the song. Now, the actual song itself, and looking at the video as well, it seems to be talking about somebody who's possibly in a mental institution, possibly insane. Well, he does mention insanity, and that makes him happy. You know, his insanity makes him happy. It's like his craziness is his only form of happiness. It's the only thing that makes him smile in a world this shit. You know, his own insanity is the only thing that's making him happy, seemingly. So anyway, the lyrics go, and you know, even the way the lyrics are written, it reminds me of certain Korn songs. It reminds me of something off, I think it's off Untouchables. I know there's a specific song it reminds me of very, very much, and I cannot for the life of me think of the name of the song. But anyway, it goes, maybe you are not a fool, maybe I'm in the wrong world. I feel something, but I see nothing. I need to break that bind and leave it all behind. My feelings make me so insane, I don't know how to stop the game. This lie is my only way to smile again. So, like I said, I'm not guaranteed that these lyrics are 100%. They seemed very close when I was listening to the track, but, you know, there is a margin for error, just bear that in mind. So, he's basically saying, maybe you're not a fool, maybe I'm in the wrong world. So, you know, maybe you're not such an idiot. You know, maybe I am, you know, completely off the chart. You know, maybe I'm completely in a different universe to everybody else. You know, I'm crazy, clearly. And it says, my feelings make me so insane. And then there's that line, this lie is my only way to smile again. So, you know, this delusion, this world that I've created for myself in my head, this lie, this thing in my head that's making me crazy is the only thing that's making me smile, like I said at the beginning. You think that I conserved my faith, but my soul's falling in disgrace, and I stayed lonely, ashamed and ugly. My feelings make me go insane. I don't know how to stop the game. This lie is my only way to smile again. And now this is roughly where the sort of spoken bit comes in, which I think is possibly the only bit that might just give it away that it's not Korn you're listening to if you didn't know that this was not them. For example, it says, are you lonely now in a night without stars? Are you lonely now? Who is tearing me apart? Are you lonely now? No, I don't want to be so sick. And that gets repeated over and over again. It's like, no, I don't want to be, I don't want to be, I don't want to be so sick. And then that gets repeated again. Then it goes back into that chorus bit. My feelings make me so insane. I don't know how to stop this game. This lie is my only way to smile again. My feelings make me so insane. I don't know how to stop this game. This lie is my only way to smile again. And then it went into that really sort of quiet bit right at the end where he did the sort of the cleanest singing throughout the track. It says, my scars hide in my blame. Will you understand my shame? My insanity allows me to smile again. So, you know, it's basically a completely insane man who only finds happiness and can only smile because of this crazy delusion in his head. The things that are making him mad are also the things that are making him happy because he wants to block out the outside world, maybe. I don't know. But I like it. I think it's a good song. You know, it's not a really deep story like, you know, how a lot of the tracks I cover on here do seem to have deeper meanings on here. But in a way, it might also have that behind it. You know, the fact that the world at the moment is such a horrible, depressing place. You know, there's so much rampant hatred. You know, maybe going a little bit crazy is the only thing that will actually keep us happy because the world is such a horrible place. I don't know. But I really liked that. I thought that was very, very good. I mean, I'm sure they're probably sick to death of people comparing them to Korn, or maybe that's what they were going after. I don't know. But there are definite parallels that you can draw there. Like I said, if this song was put on and you didn't know that this was Chaoseum, you would immediately say that was Korn because it sounds so much like them in every single aspect. But they are still brilliant. The performance in the video was brilliant. It was great. I liked it. It was very, very good. So, yeah, I don't know what else I can really say about that without repeating myself over and over again. But yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that. Now, if anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so. By all means, you can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or you can even message me through my Patreon, where you can also help to support this channel, which would, of course, be a massive help to me, considering every piece of content I upload for this channel gets immediately demonetized. So, you know, I put in hours of effort to create these videos, and I make absolutely nothing from any of it. I get absolutely diddly squat. You know, and I'm all for the bands getting recognition for the fact that I'm using their material, but the fact that they get every single piece of it kind of irks me just a little bit, you know, because their material isn't the entirety of the video. But, you know, that's just the way it is. So if you'd like to help support this channel, you know, maybe help me make improvements to the channel, like maybe upgrading this microphone, which so many people have complained about, or doing something about this background, which, again, many people have complained about, you know, it'd be a massive help to me. So, you know, there is an option in Patreon where you can get your suggestion jumped to the front of the queue, should you so desire it. There is a limit on how frequently you can do that, however, and that's just to be fair to people who make suggestions through more regular means, such as Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And if you do make a comment suggestion through those means, do know it could take me a while to get around to your suggestion, since I do get suggested so many new tracks every single day that my list grows faster than I can record the videos. But I do write down every suggestion I get, so it should get done eventually. It just might take me a while to get around to it, unfortunately. Also, MetalHead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose goal is to put an end to hate crimes. And one of the main facets of that is hate crimes against people from the alternative culture. And it's something I believe in very, very strongly, and something that gets very widely ignored and needs more focus drawing onto it. And you know, every day we hear about all these other hate crimes like sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, religious hatred, ableism, etc. We hear these on a daily basis. From the most heinous and violent of these crimes, where someone is murdered because of the colour of their skin, because of their sexual identity, because of their religious beliefs, down to the most petty and pathetic of these crimes, where some entitled white woman is calling the police because a family of colour are having a picnic in a public space. You know, we hear every facet of these every single day. But we never hear anything about all these people from the alternative community who are getting violently and brutally attacked just purely because of the music that they listen to and the clothing that they wear. And, you know, we're not just talking about insults being shouted across the street or getting shoulder rammed as you're walking down the road. No, we're talking about real violent, brutal crimes where people are getting violently, brutally and viciously attacked, sometimes getting hospitalised with broken limbs and sometimes even more life-threatening injuries. The last time there was any widespread talk about this sort of thing was 14 years ago, when Sophie Lancaster and her boyfriend Rob Maltby were violently and brutally attacked by a group of 5 or 6 people who beat them, kicked them, punched them, knocked them to the ground and stamped on their heads so violently that they both ended up in comas. Now, Rob Maltby, he did thankfully survive the attack. He was in a coma for about a week and a half, possibly a little bit longer, but he did survive. Sophie Lancaster, on the other hand, she was in a coma for 13 days before she succumbed to her injuries and she died. This young woman was 20 years old and she was beaten to death by a group of people just purely because they didn't like the fact that she listened to different music and wore different style of clothes to them. Now, when this happened, like I said, about 14 years ago, when this happened, this was all over the news, as rightfully it should have been. This was the talk of media outlets all over the place 14 years ago. But as all things do, other news stories came in and it sort of faded away. But in the 14 years since that happened, we've not heard anything similar. But I know for a fact there have been several hundred, if not several thousand, similar cases. Just a couple of years ago in Glasgow, Scotland, a young woman, again about 20, 21 years old, she was running a charity gig at a venue. And sometime during the evening, she had to go back to her home, which was a 5-minute walk away from the venue. In the time between leaving the venue and getting to her home, she was attacked twice by, again, a group of people. A group of 5 or 6 people violently and brutally attacked her twice within the space of 5 minutes. And again, beaten, kicked, punched, knocked to the ground and beaten more. Thankfully, a passing taxi driver put an end to the assault, but he didn't stop to see if she was okay. He just buggered off. She didn't get any help until she got back to the venue that she was hosting at, to where her friends were. This was not in the news. I live walking distance from Scotland, and I didn't hear a thing about this. I didn't hear anything about this until a friend told me about this. And the only reason that friend knew about it was because the person who was attacked was a friend of his. This wasn't in the news at all. You know, it wasn't on the internet. It wasn't on Facebook. It wasn't on the TV. It wasn't in the newspapers. Nothing. Nothing was said. Now, if this had been a member of the LGBTQ community, it would have been all over the news. If it was a racist attack, it would have been all over the news. If it had been anything else, this would have been covered everywhere. But it was a member of the alternative community, and not a word was said. Now, I guarantee you, if that taxi driver hadn't stopped, if he hadn't put an end to the assault, and that young woman had been beaten to death, just like Sophie Lancaster, then it would have been in the news. And that's unacceptable. We shouldn't have to wait for someone to lose their life before this sort of thing gets spoken about, before something gets done. We shouldn't have to wait for someone to die before we sit up and go, hold on, there's something wrong here. It shouldn't take that much. It shouldn't go that far. And this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to raise more awareness of the fact that this sort of thing is happening and that it is a very real problem. You know, this is a very widespread problem that's been going on for decades. This has been going on since before I was born. But people continue to ignore it. And the more we ignore it, the more it's going to happen. The more the people perpetrating these crimes are going to think that they can get away with it because they're not going to face the consequences. And that's unacceptable. Something needs to be done before what happened to Sophie Lancaster happens again. So if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there's a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their overall goal is, because they can explain it a lot better than I can. And if you can help them out in any small way, obviously you don't feel obligated to do so, but if you can help them out in any small way, whether it's a small donation through their website or something as simple as one of these Sophie wristbands, or maybe one of these from their online web store. They've got a whole bunch of other really cool stuff over there as well. But, you know, the smallest amount can make the biggest difference. And the sooner we get more people talking about this, the sooner we raise more awareness of this, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.